Hey everyone, welcome to Drunken Idiots. Today's date is November 17th, 2023. I'm Anthony. This is Chris. Uh, cha-
Talents for y'all people who want to follow
if you
me
want to
on
follow him on social,
or
YouTube, or wherever,
PlayStation
yep.
or yeah.
Talents860, UWA Talents. Find him, follow him. He posts lots of clips, different games that he's playing, and yeah. So, welcome to the show. We are going to be talking about a few topics here today that we been discussing throughout the week. We have a few games that came out, and we've got some scores we want to go over. We had the Game Awards that just happened,
The
nominees.
nominees,
Yeah,
yes,
and Modern Warfare 3 dropped.
yes.
And that's what we're going to be talking about, and then at the end we'll hit up some games you may want to revisit or games that you've played recently that are older and that you may want to talk about, and have people that may have missed those games, and then they
Yeah,
can talk about
yeah.
those. All right, so the first game we're going to be talking about that dropped is a remake
It's a game that I actually missed.
in its original. So a game that you missed in its original run.
Yeah,
And yeah, and a lot of people have, especially because it's an older game, and it came out on the Super Nintendo, and now it's being re-released after a lot of requests over the years. So it's Super Mario RPG. This was a old SquareSoft game back when it was just SquareSoft,
yep.
Square Enix now. And it was teamed up with Nintendo, and they made like a traditional role-playing game on the Super Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah,
A lot of us that
and it's turn based,
yeah, it's old school.
old school turn based RPG.
Yeah, and people love that game. People that were around for that time frame and they actually purchased this game back then and loved Square knows that back in the Super Nintendo era there was no other bigger RPG maker than Square. So they were
in Enix, right?
yeah, they had a couple of others, but Square was Final Fantasy. It was
Okay.
definitely what was the biggest
Okay.
thing out there. There's Chrono Cross and other games that were out there at the time, but Square was pretty much the name. And so they partnered with Nintendo and they came up with one of the all-time classics. It was a pseudo 3D perspective with
Yeah.
pre-rendered graphics. Back in those days, it
Yeah.
looked amazing. Kind of Donkey Kong Country style graphics.
Yeah, it was cool.
Very cool. But if you were a kid and you had to choose some games, probably this one wasn't going to be the one that you went to the store and asked for. A lot of kids didn't. And so, you probably missed it. Well, good news. It's out now for the Switch. And they remade it. It's completely brand new from the ground up as far as, you know, character models. Everything is brand new. So we're looking at the reviews that came in for the game, and it's right now sitting at an 83 as of this recording on Metacritic, which is a highly favorable score.
I
Some
wouldn't
people
say highly favorable.
an
I think
83,
I think it's decent. That's a decent score.
an 83 is a high score.
So you think an 83 is high?
Anything above a 7.5, you're looking at a very good game.
So what's a great game?
A great game is a 9 and up.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually, if you're a little older, or our generation, and you used to get the old Game Informers, and you kind of didn't want to buy a game that was under a 7.
Okay.
So 7 was kind of passing, and everything else below a 7 was considered not a great game.
Okay.
Or niche.
I never really had the Game Informers. I remember like leaving school. It was a CVS right at the corner by the bus stop. I just catch the city bus back in the day. And I would read through the magazines waiting for the bus, and the Game Informers and them game magazines.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like a must-have, I guess yeah. I didn't really. I was young, so I never really correlated the must-haves with the score. I mean, obviously, a 90 and above it's a must-play, must-have type of game,
Right.
or
And that's generally still
okay,
kind of the grading on it.
okay,
Yeah, so it's favorable would be anything above a 7. Something that you're still gonna, the average person will probably play it even if they're not interested in the game and still have a good time with it.
okay,
Anything under a 7, you probably have to be a hardcore fan of that particular franchise or game
okay.
to really like it. So 83 is 8.3 out of 10. I mean, that's a B plus,
All
right?
right, okay, yeah, all right, that makes
pretty
sense.
good. So the controversy on that would be that, of course, there's diehard fans out there who probably think this game deserved no less than either a perfect score or a 9 and up. And I think that happens a lot with Nintendo games in general. I think there's these diehard Nintendo fans who, no matter how flawed a game might be,
because they're out there.
Yeah,
Everyone likes to point a finger to the console wars being like Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
But there's Nintendo fans out there,
and boy, are they vocal.
Yeah, they just be out there lurking. They be out there lurking. Oh, let Zelda get an 80.
Oh, it would be the end of the world.
Burn the whole house down.
Burn the internet down.
Burn it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Get ready. If you were to do that to a Zelda game or a mainline Mario game.
Oh yeah, it's Nintendo fans expect nothing but perfection, and
for the most part, they get it.
Yeah, so
for the most part, they get it.
That is very true, but they're spoiled.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're spoiled. So imagine. So what is it? Pokemon. That drop.
It was a mess.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got that game, and
pretty
the
broken.
internet went wild. I have no
any major issues.
Any major issues? Frame rate. I'm like, bro,
still plays nice.
Played good to me. I ain't had no glitches.
Right. So this what comes down to, like, not to go off subject, but it does apply in one way. So Harry Potter, the new Harry Potter game, Legacy, right?
The Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy. It dropped on Switch this week.
Okay.
And of course, if you're a Switch owner, you do not expect this game to be looking like the PC version.
I haven't seen it.
Well, we know the PC version, PS5 version, and Xbox are very pretty games.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Okay.
On the Switch version, and there's going to be haters out there that are not going to agree with this, but the Switch version is serviceable. It looks like it would be
that adjective.
Absolutely. It looks like it would run on a PS4.
Okay.
An Xbox One.
Okay.
It's right in line with that. The developers took an extra 6 months
to make sure that
it runs on Switch.
Okay.
It's not as open world as, say, the PS5 or PC version. So, meaning
there's limitations.
Of course, there's hardware limitations. Yeah. Everything is still there, though. So, whereas, let's say on the PS5 version, you're in the town and you open a door to go into a shop, it would just open a door and you're in a shop. Yeah. On the Switch version, you can still go into the shop. Expect a loading screen.
Okay.
Because you're going into a new play area, your system is going to load up that area for you, and there's going to be loading times.
Okay.
The graphics are serviceable. If you played PlayStation 4 games, it's going to look along that line. And the developers got it running to around 30 frames per second, which for a game this caliber is more than enough on a handheld.
So, boom, hot take, 30 frames per second. So, as a console gamer, we've been playing 30 frames per second for the longest. So I get it. Yeah, we're in a new generation.
So wait, that's true and not true.
We
Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo were all doing 60 frames per second, but nobody really had a TV out there that was 60 frames per second back then.
Okay, so thank you for that insight.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, generally speaking, we've been accustomed to 30 frames.
It was never a big deal.
It was never a big deal. It only became a big deal when the marketing and all that type of stuff got involved.
Yeah, Twitch gaming, like first-person shooters, that's where your frame rate has to be.
Yeah,
you need 60 frames. You want 60 frames so that you're not at a disadvantage.
That's understandable.
Right.
So, my personal opinion.
A game like this?
My personal opinion, Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch.
Yeah.
At 30 frames. That's not a big deal. That's a trade-off. You playing
it handheld, and you get to take it anywhere you want with the rest of your Switch library. I agree. So here's
bad. If you want it to be pretty, buy it on your PlayStation 5, your Xbox, or on your PC.
You have the option. It's not like people are forcing you to go buy the Switch version. I think this is going to be a big seller. I think it's going to sell over 1 million copies on the Switch. There's 130 million Switches out there, and they're prime target for people that like the Harry Potter books that are in their, pre-teens to early teens. They're probably Switch gamers. There's going to be a big market of that have Switches. And they may want to take the game with them. They may want to play Harry Potter on the school bus or on the train.
There's going to be people that buy the game twice.
I agree. And then people who only have a Switch who will get the game for the first time. So controversy or not, there's a lot of people out there who are haters, and we're like, oh well, if it's not the top of the line graphics, then the game shouldn't even come out on the system. But then we would miss out on games like The Witcher 3, which are impossible ports, and why is that running on a Switch when it shouldn't? These are technological advancements. I believe that everybody gets a chance to play it, and I think that Super Mario RPG is one of those games that it may not be perfect, but it's serviceable. It's a faithful reproduction of the original game, and looks like there's little changes here and there for people who did play it and know the game back and forth, that I think they're gonna get to enjoy this game again. And an 8.3, 83 out of 100 is not a bad score by far. It is a generally favorable score.
Okay.
And I don't see the controversy. Game. I just don't see why 8.3 is considered a death toll.
I never played the original.
Yeah.
But I only have fond memories of people who did play the game and was like, yo, it is so great. It is so good. Mm-hmm. You should play it. You got to play it.
Yeah.
And I got memories of going back to Hollywood Video. Because back in the day, there was Blockbuster, but Blockbuster was a little bit farther from my house. So we would go to Hollywood Video in the south end of Hartford. For those that know, you know. But yeah, I would go to Hollywood Video. It was always rented out. Never got the chance to play it. And I feel like I missed out because that was...
Were you really big into RPGs back then?
No, I wasn't. But
Neither was I.
Yeah. But I got really big into Pokemon, and Pokemon is a
This might have been your gateway had you not. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I was told to revisit it if I get a chance, if I had the chance to go and play it, and it's Mario on top of that, so it's like I'm gonna have a good time.
Okay.
So
do you plan on getting the Switch version? And be honest. There's a lot of games out there right now. There's a lot to play.
It's a yes and it's a no.
Okay.
I do want to play it. I do want to experience it.
But do you want to pay $60?
I ain't know it costs $60.
I'm pretty sure it is $60.
It's right now. It's like, do I have the time to sit back and play it? Right now, I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have the time right now because there's other games that I'm playing.
Yeah, no, there's a lot on my wall of shame that I'm right now that you know what I'm focused on right now. I'm still focused on Spider-Man, which is a 4-year-old game, 5-year-old game, whatever it is at this point.
3.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get all the trophies.
Yeah. See, I was never like a trophy hunter, trophy collector.
Neither am I, but for this game I am.
You are? Okay, so that you like the game.
I really like the game.
You like the game.
I really like the game.
Yeah, not to go off, but like,
yeah.
You gotta like a game or like what you're playing to be able to.
I want to 100%
experience and to do that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I beat the game already. I'm playing it again through New Game Plus.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm New Game Plus now, and I'm now hunting for all the trophies that I missed during my first playthrough.
All right, so as far as for Mario RPG, it got an 83 score, and there's a 83% chance that I'll buy it this year.
I like that.
But
I like that.
Now,
fair enough.
Now, Miles Morales.
Yeah.
That's the Spider-Man you just beat.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's one of my favorite games in the last maybe 5 or 6 years. Yeah, it's excellent.
It was good. It's a great game.
It's excellent.
My son
it's
beat
fun
it.
just just swinging through the cities is fun.
It gets so much better
Yeah.
with the sequel.
Okay.
Or-
So I'll be looking into the sequel, which brings us to the next subject. The nominees for the 2023 Jeff Keighley, the Keighley's as I call them, the Game of the Year awards, the video game awards, that Jeff Keighley put together, have been released for 2023, and there's some interesting games in here, and there's some no-brainers in here that you knew were going to end up on this list.
What you thought was interesting?
Resident Evil 4.
Oh. I don't think that... All right.
Okay, so...
Why do you think it's interesting?
Before we get there, the list is...
Okay, what's the list?
Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder, that just came out a couple weeks ago, is already nominated for Game of the Year.
Alan Wake 2 came out a week after that.
It's true. It's true. Both of these games I just didn't expect to see so soon on this list, but they are absolutely on there.
I did.
You did. You called it. The next one was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I expected that.
That was
It's a
also...
no-brainer.
That one was one of
It's a
those games
no-brainer.
you just kind of knew. Yeah, exactly. Baldur's Gate 3.
No brainer.
The other one. So I think those were the two that you were like, these are going to be on the list. And probably the top two.
The top two to win.
To win, yeah. The next one is Resident Evil 4 and then Spider-Man 2.
I had a feeling Spider-Man was going to be there.
Yeah, I expected Spider-Man 2. Is there a lot of fanfare for that game?
But it got a 91.
Still a great score.
It got a 91. So
It's a must-have.
This is Insomniac's first game that broke over a 90. So to put that into perspective, Insomniac Studios, they make a lot of great games
For a long time.
for a long time. They've been putting out consistent
Classics.
great games.
So
But
far,
they never
yeah.
cracked over a 90.
Which is really weird.
Which is weird, but
You would think with like...
you would thought they've been
Jack
had a
Baxter
game, but
and all those other games, yeah.
But you go back and now you look like, damn. Excuse my language, pardon my French. But now you look back and you're like, wow, this is their first game, and then Spider-Man
It's a
on
little
top of
shocking.
that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, all right, well, kudos to them. Kudos.
The game deserves to be on the list, I think.
Yeah,
From
kudos.
everything that I've read and from what you've told me. The controversial one is Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is one of the all-time greatest games, period.
Okay.
I
I never played it.
It's probably the best Resident Evil ever.
Okay.
Arguably, it's either that or 2.
Okay.
For completely different reasons, because they play completely different. 2 was kind of the perfection, in my opinion, of that top-down view, scary horror movie, and then 4 changed the series completely and took it to a new direction. It was
Okay.
an action-based horror game.
It was
still
their
scary.
Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah,
Their
absolutely.
Mario 64.
They put the camera over the shoulder,
Their
and now
Sonic
it's,
Adventure. Okay.
it's Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
So, but the controversy is, I mean, it's an all-time great.
Yeah.
It was Game of the Year back then.
Okay.
It was, Game of the Year in many publications.
Okay.
It's been released on Xbox 360.
Okay.
It's been released on GameCube, PlayStation, iPhone, Android.
Yeah.
Every platform known to man has Resident Evil 4. The arguably best version of the game is on the Wii with the pointer controls.
Okay.
That's arguably on the internet. People prefer that version.
Okay.
And then now we get the game again. We've been seeing all the Resident Evil classic games been remastered.
Yeah.
To great fanfare.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 was recently remastered and it's amazing looking. But never really has there been a remake put in as Game of the Year contender versus brand new games.
Okay.
So the question is, a game that came out 20 plus years ago, does that deserve to be up there with games that came out brand new? Or does this motivate developers to go, well, all I got to do is take this game I made 20 years ago, remake it, and now I'm going to get Game of the Year. Imagine if Nintendo did that with like Mario Brothers 3
So
or Mario World
I'm gonna say that
instead of Mario Wonder.
I feel that if you're gonna remake a game,
Yeah.
and don't forget we had a lot of remakes that came out this year. You had the GTA remakes.
it's been remake after remake for the last decade.
Yeah, it's been a lot of remakes coming out.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard and what I've read upon the Resident Evil 4 remake was that it was a beautiful remake.
It looks beautiful.
They said they made some changes, but the overall tone, the atmosphere, everything about the game
They took
that
what was
they remade
and brought it to our.
they made it to this standard to
the new generation
for this generation. But what I'm hearing about the remake for this generation, is better than a lot of the games or the new IPs that came out this generation.
Okay.
And push boundaries and push limits with how the game looks and how the game plays.
I'm not disagreeing with the game being amazing, but that doesn't take away the fact that that game is the original is better than all these games that came out now.
So what about the work that someone has to put to recreate this game?
It's still already done. It's like saying, to me, okay, does the new Willy Wonka movie with Johnny Depp, does that get nominated for the same Academy Awards as the original one from Gene Wilder in the 70s? It's a new spit, polished point of view. It's bringing it to the new era.
It was good, but it wasn't as good.
That's, I'm just giving you an example. Let's say it was as good.
Did you know that Scarface?
Let's say it was a shot for shot.
Did you know that Scarface?
I know it's a remake.
It's a remake.
I understand that.
Okay, so there's.
Have you seen the original? I have. I used to own the box set.
Wow. Was the original better than the remake?
Because I'm Puerto Rican and
was the remake?
We love Scarface.
Was the remake better than the original?
It's different. Completely different, believe it or not. They're remakes only in the term that it was a gangster named Scarface.
Okay. All right. So
but it was good. They were both you got to look at it from 1930s point of view. Was that movie great in the 30s and 40s? It was amazing in the 30s and 40s. You didn't get that from movies back then. Which is why 40 years later they said, man, remember that cool Scarface movie when we were kids?
Yeah.
That's the same thing they're doing with this. My point is, I'm not saying Resident Evil 4 is not an amazing game. I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve accolades. Probably we need a category for best remake of the year.
Okay, I'm down with.
Because if that's the case, Metroid Prime came out on the Switch.
I'm down with adding the category
and
for remake or remaster.
It was applauded across the board. Metroid Prime as being beautiful, brand new for this generation.
They go that Nintendo bias.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth. The game got huge reviews.
Yeah, it got great reviews. I got lost in Metroid Prime 4, and I didn't know where I needed to go, and now I'm backtracking, and now all I remember is the same 3 enemies in this hallway who jump out.
That's Prime 1.
And they go like this.
Yeah, that's Prime 1.
Shoot, jump, shoot, and after being lost for so many times, I was like,
"You're talking about okay."
I lost the immersion.
Okay, but that's 20 years ago. That's 20 years ago.
This game dropped 20 years ago.
That's 20 years ago. The game's been updated, brand new visuals, brand new mechanics. It's again, they brought it up to the modern standard.
Okay.
And people love that about it. So if and it's got really good reviews.
Okay.
It's up there. So if Resident Evil gets that kind of love, then all these other remakes of classics need that. Imagine they did that with Red Dead Redemption 2. And they just went in again, and for the next generation they decided we're not going to do part 3. We're going to remaster part 2. We're going to remake it from the ground up with a brand new engine, but it's still Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the all-time greatest games of all time. Does that get Game of the Year? Or what if Bethesda decided we're not doing Elder Scrolls, we're just going to remake Skyrim, one of the best games of all time in the last decade, and we're going to...
you just lost me on Skyrim.
We're going to make it ultra high definition Skyrim.
You had me on your side with Red Dead.
I'm just saying, it's the same idea.
Okay.
Skyrim has been re-released how many times?
It's been a lot.
Comparable to Resident Evil.
But...
Of course it has.
You
It's
talking
on
about
everything.
a game that was 20 years old versus a game that's 12, 13.
And it's been released on everything.
You're right, but one is 12, one's been longer. Like, so
Yeah, but
like
we've never missed it.
I get that.
Did you want to play Resident Evil 4 the last
I never
generation?
played a Resident. I played
I know, I'm
maybe
just
one
saying,
Resident Evil game.
Did you want to? You could get it on every platform since it came out.
Okay, so yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And now you can get it again.
I understand what you're saying.
And it's a great game.
I understand.
I'm
what
not
you're
crapping
saying.
on the game.
Yeah, they should add a remake or remaster.
That's my
category.
compromise to that.
But from what the visuals that I've seen, the reviews that I've seen, I think that the developers who were tasked to make that game, that remake,
Sure.
I think that they put in some work, they put into some love, and
Yes.
I think that they did an amazing job.
Absolutely.
And I think that should definitely be rewarded.
Sure.
Now, I do think my personal opinion, hot take, is I think the only reason why Resident Evil 4 remake is catching flack is because Starfield got snubbed.
No, I don't think so. I think that Resident Evil 4 is catching flack because it's a remake. We can talk about Starfield being snubbed or not. I believe if Starfield was
So
snubbed,
it's the Xbox tax.
yeah, I was just listening about Xbox tax the other day. Starfield did get nominated, but it got nominated
For RPG of the year,
and
right?
Xbox game and RPG of the year.
RPG of the year.
Yeah, which by no means is I'd be happy as hell to have it's a Bethesda game.
But Baldur's Gate 3 is in that category.
So the Game of the Year nominee is in the same category as your game. This is not good news for Starfield fans. This is not. I don't think Starfield's gonna come away with this one. However, Starfield's in the 80s as far as their score, which again, it's a good game. It's not going to. I've said this from the beginning. I like Starfield. I've been playing through it. I've been inching my way through it. Spider-Man took, as soon as I got my PlayStation up and running again, Spider-Man took my attention
There's
away.
a difference. There's a difference. It's a difference between. There's a difference between. All right, you got hype, and you have expectations, and you got delivery.
Right.
So when you have the hype, you geared up. You just want to play it.
Yes.
They deliver the game.
Yes.
Does it live up to your expectations?
Yes.
And
it's a difference. There's a difference.
There's a difference. So I'm like, wow. Because Spider-Man 2, there was hype.
Oh, yeah.
They delivered. And, boy, the expectations, I was good. I was happy. Now, Starfield, I haven't played.
Starfield is not going to blow your mind, but if you played a Bethesda game in the last 10 years,
I played Skyrim.
of course you have. I think everybody and their mom has. If you played Fallout or Skyrim at any point, this game is going to live up to that. Is it going to beat Skyrim? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And that's hard. And I know that's comparing apples to oranges because of the genre of RPG.
What's his name? Jeff Keighley?
Yeah.
I think Jeff Keighley ain't want no smoke, so he put Starfield up there for RPG of the year.
I'm gonna say what everybody else is thinking is these games get developers to pay for them to get nominated.
Because
Like the Academy Awards.
Octopath Traveler 2.
It looks amazing. I haven't played a single one of these games.
I haven't either, but James has.
They've been on my radar. They have been because these are classic RPGs.
Yes.
By Square.
And Octopath Traveler 2 was nowhere mentioned.
Not even a mention.
And
because it's smaller.
It's smaller, but I'm more.
And I'm more interested.
I am more.
Say it.
I am more
Talents 860. If you guys want to leave a comment of what he's about to say.
Yo, I am more for the fans of Octopath Traveler.
Right.
I'm more on your side that game was not nominated compared to the people who really love Starfield.
I feel like it should have been on the list.
I agree. It should have been on the list.
I'm gonna say both should be on the list. Starfield. Having played Starfield, I haven't played Octopath Traveler. Having played Starfield,
Okay.
it didn't blow my. Here's the thing about that game. It didn't blow my mind because I've played Fallout, I've played Skyrim, and boy have I put hundreds of hours of my life into both Fallout, New Vegas, Fallout 4, all of them, Fallout 3.
You sound like the people I see on Reddit.
It's the truth.
So listen, guys, I'll be on Reddit. I'll be on Reddit damn near every day. And what I seen on Reddit was what's the stages of grief? It's like denial,
Yeah.
anger,
With the 5
and
stages
then acceptance. The 5 stages. I seen the 5 stages
of grief.
of grief with the Starfield Game of the Year nomination snub.
I'm not going through that because I don't believe it's Game of the Year. I don't believe it should be in the list for Game of the Year. I haven't played Baldur's Gate, but everything that I've heard about Baldur's Gate has been better than my experience with Starfield. And I understand there's going to be a lot of Xbox people out there and Bethesda fans and Starfield fans. This game is a great game. It's not that the game isn't great. I like Starfield. It's not Game of the Year because we have had 2023 has been.
It was a hell of a year.
We have had banger after banger after banger when it comes to video games. Hogwarts Legacy isn't up there, and that sold a bajillion copies.
Yeah.
The game is hugely popular, and
Yes.
it didn't even get a mention.
I thought it was gonna get mentioned.
I
I
wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised.
But so go back to for me to go back, right?
Yeah.
When I said Octopath Traveler, I'm more on their side that should have been mentioned.
Yeah.
So
it's a fair argument.
Octopath Traveler should have been mentioned. Second, I go Hogwarts Legacy. That should have kind of got up in there.
So do we take Resident Evil out of the running for Game of the Year and put one of those games in?
For me, it's a no.
We haven't played Resident Evil 4. We played it already.
I still
It's a remaster.
I still say it's a no because the work that they put in.
That doesn't matter to me.
I think
that doesn't matter to me because when you've got the blueprint and everything's already pre-done for you, it's easy to copy and paste and put it into an. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's the work. The layout has been done for you. The masterpiece is already created. The game, the story, nothing changed. It's a shot-for-shot remake.
So I get where you're coming from, and I understand where you're coming from. So I think this hurts the gaming industry. So I'm going to liken it to. I'm going to compare it to all right, boom. You know how you got, in real estate, you got houses that look nice, whatever. So if you gut a house to its bones, you demolish everything except for just
the skeleton.
Right? And then you go in and then you do everything all over again.
Okay, but it looks exactly the same, but with a new shiny coat of paint.
It's not the same.
That's exactly what it is.
It's
the
not
game
the
hasn't
same.
changed. It's still the same game.
Okay. So yeah,
it's the same game.
It's Resident Evil 4.
It's the same game, the same
But
village, the same story.
They regutted everything.
They didn't just gut it. It's like taking this room, and then they take down my Star Flag Media flag, and they put a poster up instead.
All right. So what I'm saying is,
and it's shinier and it's new.
Okay. So
Chris is a fan of shiny and new in every aspect of his life.
So what I'm saying is. No, that's true. That's true. But what I'm saying is boom. if I made a remake,
It's okay.
if I made a
we gotta move past this.
All right,
But yeah, make the point.
So,
make your point.
if the remake is better than your new game that you dropped, and niggas had a blueprint,
That doesn't matter because the game was better than what you dropped 20 years ago. I could take
I'm
that
just
GameCube
saying.
game; it was already better because I liked it better, and it's been reviewed better. If Resident Evil 4 got dropped, with the it's a classic, man.
I think
it's a classic for a reason.
so. I think a lot of these game developers are lazy. Yes, they did a lazy route by doing a remake, but if their lazy work is better than your AAA, the AAA work,
man. I disagree because it was already a AAA work. He didn't
If
make
it's
a
better,
new game. They
it's
didn't make a
better.
new game. They
It's
didn't
better.
make a new game.
it's better.
This
Alright, so
sets a
next
precedence. So wait, just to finalize, it sets a precedence for game companies. Not that these awards matter yet. They don't. They don't matter yet. At the end of the day, it comes down to game sales, right? That's what companies need in order to stay afloat. But what this sets a precedence for in game awards is if I want to get a video game award, if I'm especially, let's say I'm a small time developer or I'm not a huge developer like Capcom, Electronic Arts, or Activision, I'm going to take an IP that's already established and I'm going to remake that game because I have a better bet of getting my classic game on the Video Game Awards than I would if I make a brand new IP
But they all been getting cash
or a
grabs.
sequel. Why wouldn't they just make a brand new Resident Evil?
All these developers been going and publishers been going for cash grabs.
I'm okay with cash grabs if you are an idiot.
But this
and you
was
want
a cash grab with love.
This is a cash grab, and it got nominated.
Hey,
And it's all it is a cash. Anyway,
don't hate us because we ain't us.
And that's fine. That's his take, and that's mine. And let us know in the comments below what side you stand on. There's not a right side. Obviously, his point of view is just as valid as my point of view. We can agree to disagree with this. It is an interesting, yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting dilemma to be in as a gamer because at the end of the day, we can both agree Resident Evil 4 is probably one of the best games of the year. Of course it is. It was also the best game of the year in 2004. So that brings us to the next. It was.
Yeah.
That brings us to the next topic. Now I haven't played this game. You have. We're talking about a game that just dropped, and it is Modern Warfare 3. There's a lot going on with this game right now. First, the game is arguably the biggest franchise on the planet.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, right?
Call of Duty, yep. The
Modern
number one
Warfare
bestseller.
series, probably the biggest out of
Yep.
all of them. It's second. It's probably first, and then second to Black Ops, right?
yeah.
So Modern Warfare is the top. Black Ops
It's
right next to it.
arguably, we got to check the numbers, but we could either way.
You could
It's
argue
there.
that
It's up
no matter
there.
what. The next part is Modern Warfare 3 is out and it's getting review bombed like crazy. Now you can take this with a grain of salt because we've seen a lot of review bombing for video games by the fans. But our boy here, we got Chris, has actually got this game.
I'm a 10+ year vet.
Oh
2004.
yeah, we've been playing since Xbox.
I'm a
360.
20-year vet. God
yeah,
damn.
yeah. We've been playing a long time.
I'm a 20-year vet.
I'm about
Call of
17 years in.
I'm a 20-year vet. So Modern Warfare 3, right? What I gotta say, I love the game. I love the multiplayer. So now, as I mentioned before, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Reddit, I'm online, I'm seeing all these takes that these streamers are giving.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of Reddit posts, and right now everyone is hot on the skill-based matchmaking, the SBMM. It's so bad, it's so terrible.
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
We've been playing a long time.
We've been playing a
I
long
haven't gotten this game yet.
We've been playing a long time.
Yeah.
So now the SBMM, or the skill-based matchmaking, I felt it. It was real. It was real in Modern Warfare 2019. It was real in Modern Warfare Cold War. It was real. It was kind of real in Vanguard. But this one, I've been dropping great games on the daily. When everyone's gonna say like, oh well, maybe you're just in that protected bracket that don't get the SBMM.
Okay.
My KD,
what are the odds of that?
My KD is damn near a 2. On Modern Warfare,
So you would definitely be in the matchmaking.
Yeah, on Modern Warfare 2022, my KD is a 1.74.
Right.
I have good games. I have bad games.
Yeah.
But what I was playing with a friend yesterday on Modern Warfare 3 online, and this guy, he's really good. Shout out to my boy Glaucoma. Now, Glaucoma, we met playing Search and Destroy on Vanguard last 2 years ago. Now, I like Search and Destroy. I'm not a really good Search and Destroy guy, but I like the aspects of it, and I want to get good. I want to be good.
Hashtag get good.
Yeah, hashtag get good. So now, Glaucoma he's this guy that if it was a 1 versus 5 and Search and Destroy, you only got 1 life, he's clutch. You can count on he's
gonna get you through this
to win the round.
Nice.
I've never been clutch in Call of Duty ever. Warzone, so. Black Ops,
maybe
all of
Warzone. Maybe. No. What's World at War?
World at War.
We were clutch at World at War. We were really good at that game. So and this is a long time ago, but still, we were excellent.
We were really good, and even then,
we were really good.
Even back to the World at War games, like if you could probably put me in that bracket, but me personally, I'm not clutch.
I disagree.
So
for that game,
I still say I'm not clutch.
He's being humble.
So I'm playing with Glaucoma, and he's just having a bad time. Yo, I just don't get it. People don't move. Now we play hardcore. No mini map, no HUD, limited health.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, people don't move. I don't get it. He's frustrated. And his friend is also in our party with us.
Yeah.
He's also frustrated. He's like, yo, the skill-based matchmaking just going off, just riffing. I'm like, bruh. And then I hear Glaucoma say, yo, these maps are classics. How are they? They're not trash. These maps are classics. And in my head, I'm nodding like, yeah, they classics. But you're whining too. So what I learned, and why I'm having such a great time with Modern Warfare 3, and why I'm not affected by the skill-based matchmaking with playing the hardcore rule sets, is because I go back to then. What I did then is I don't run to the middle of the map where everyone is camping and looking at these major alleyways. I do the same thing that I do then that I do now.
Because it worked for those classic maps. That makes sense.
My perk sets. They have perks. They brought back Dead Silence.
Nice.
You have Ghost.
Nice.
They added a perk that removes all the ambient noise. And it quiets the noise of your teammates.
Very good.
So
you
now
can hear what's going on.
So now I could hear what's potentially not my teammates.
Yeah.
All that fiery explosion, all that is quieted down. My footsteps that I hear is louder.
I'm assuming you play with a headset.
I play with a headset. Enemy footsteps are louder. So I'm like, bro, and I got Ghost and Dead Silence. I'm doing what I always do. I run around the edge of the map.
Classic times.
And pick them off.
This is how we used to play.
That's how I've always played Call of Duty.
That's how we used to play back in the day, man.
In those older days. Now,
which makes sense if it's the older maps.
These more modern games, Call of Duty games, the map design it's not really for that. You can't really do that now.
Question for you. Do you think, since we're on the upper edge of the older gamers at this point, we have a lot of new gamers over the last 15 years who are now teenagers, right? And they got used to playing open maps in a different version of Call of Duty than those older maps allow you to play on. So you as an older gamer, right, remember that the strategies of the older maps is I'm gonna work the edges and I'm gonna work my way from the outside in, and they're not used to that, and that's why they're trashing the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe. It could be. That could be a reason.
We got a brand new generation of gamers playing these games who hate it.
That could be a reason because my strategy then worked now because it was from back then. But that's always been my strategy for these Call of Duty games up until Modern Warfare 2019.
Okay.
When they had the whole engine overhaul.
They revamped it.
Everything got changed. So when everything got changed, it was more of a cautionary, slow down, waiting. It was more of a hold this power position. So now you got people playing in this game.
Yeah.
You have people who remember the power positions.
Yep.
There's a hill I need to lock down. Anyone who comes up this hill, comes over this hill, gone. So you have a split fan base of people who play that way.
Yep.
Who's going to lock down this alley, lock down this lane, lock down this hill, guard this hill. And you have people like me who's just like, I don't care nothing about that hill. I'm just going to run around and I'm just going to do my thing. Mm-hmm. So what happens is, me with my ghost, my dead silence, here I go running on the edge of the map, looking in towards the middle like the campers are doing. I'm picking off the campers. Now I'm in their spawn. Now I'm shooting them. Now they're dead. Now they're respawning. Now I hear them on my chat saying, hey, it's a dude in our spawn. And now I'm ducking, hiding, and running and killing. And I'm getting all my kill streaks. And then I win the game. I lose the game. But I'm leaving the game 30-5, 22-6, 18-9.
You're doing well.
And I'm calling kill streaks. I'm having fun. So all the SBMM is just, in my opinion, either they doing it for clicks because it's on YouTube.
It's what's getting views right now.
It's what's getting views right now. And on Reddit, I think it's just attention. Because when Modern Warfare 2019 dropped, and they changed everything up, and I remember being part of the fan base that cried on Reddit, and one of the top comments was, yo, stop crying and get good.
Get good has been something that's been around for around that time. Yeah, get good.
Stop crying and get good. And I said,
I would say that to the new gamers out there.
So I took that. I was like, fuck you. I am good. And I got better. I got better with Modern Warfare 2019. So I learned how to get good. And if you go on Reddit and you look me up on Reddit, I don't know my Reddit name because I lost my Reddit name. I got a new one. But either way, my early Modern Warfare 2019 comments and reviews was, this game is shit. Before the end of its life,
trash.
It is the best fucking Modern Warfare that they dropped. I'm sorry. It was the best effing Modern Warfare game that they dropped. And I'm having a good time. So, forget it.
All right.
That's all I love for Modern Warfare 3.
Awesome. I mean, he likes it. I've been a Call of Duty guy for a long time. There's a lot of Battlefield people out there. Battlefield has always launched broken, and there's always been
I already got 50 hours in this game.
Yeah, it's always been an uphill battle. And Call of Duty, I mean, love it or hate it, it's easy to hate on the top of the food chain. Like it or not, Call of Duty is the top dog when it comes to first-person shooters. It is arguably the most popular franchise on the planet, next to maybe Super Mario. maybe. I mean,
It's
it's
up
up there. It's like Super Mario, Grand Theft Auto, and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Probably the top three, and you could argue that all day.
One of the best sellers, Pokemon and Mario.
Yeah, it's up
yeah,
there.
Yep.
Call of Duty. So the next thing that we want to talk about a little bit, and it kind of falls into with Modern Warfare 3, because Modern Warfare 3 it's not a remake, but it is a rebranding of the original Modern Warfare series. We're gonna be talking about games that you kind of want to revisit. Pardon me, revisit or replay, or maybe a game that is older that you never got to play. We were just talking about the Octopath Traveler games.
Yeah.
That kind of piqued both of our interests, but we haven't actually played. Is there anything out there that's a little bit older that you kind of want to look at and go, I'm still, even though it's been years or however long, I'm still interested in going back and playing that game?
That's where the 83% chance of me buying Super Mario RPG comes in.
Okay.
Obviously we got the holidays coming, Christmas and Thanksgiving
Right around the corner.
So I'm I have a family that I support.
Yeah.
So if I got a little extra money lying around this year, then yeah, I will possibly get Super Mario RPG because I want to experience what all my friends have told me is the best experience that they have with an RPG at that time.
Yeah.
So it could be the rose tinted goggles. So I do want to try that.
I mean, it may not be rose tinted because the new game came out and it's sitting at an 83.
Yeah. So
it's still a really good game.
Yeah. So I agree. So I want to try that out. Also, the DLC for Cyberpunk came out, which also got a lot of great reviews.
Cyberpunk's finally fixed.
It's finally fixed. They added my boy, Idris Elba. So I kind of want to support and see what that is about.
Yeah.
The reviews alone makes me want to try it, makes me want to play it.
It's a game that's been out for a while.
It's been out.
Yeah,
it's been out for a couple years. So I want to revisit. I want to try that as well.
Okay.
And a third game that I want to. I bought Need for Speed that dropped. I believe it dropped this year.
Yeah.
I forget the name. I already bought it. I played the first mission. I stopped playing it.
You definitely got to get back if you already own it.
Yeah, I stopped playing it because Call of Duty just got that monkey grip on me.
Yeah.
Warzone and all of that.
It's got you. It's your type of game.
But I do like racing games.
Yeah.
Arcadey racing games.
Right.
So Need for Speed that just dropped. I want to revisit that. And I also been looking at Ubisoft's The Crew. I've been looking at reviews for that because I may kind of want to get into that because like it's nothing wrong with it for me. Like a good racing game, just
I like racing games too. A lot of them, and I own a lot of them.
That's good. I mean, so just to take it back.
Yeah.
My two favorite racing games of all time, and this is not in no order because it's only two, and I put them, they're equally just my two favorite. Underground 2.
I didn't even have to.
And Burnout 2.
Yeah. Didn't even have to say it. Underground has got to be up there. It's got to be up there.
Underground 2 and Burnout 2.
Classics.
These new Need for Speed games that they have been dropping
have been pretty good.
They've been pretty good. Some kind of feel more like Burnout. Some kind of feel like whatever.
Burnout kind of it got integrated into that series.
But I really wish they kept them separate.
I do too. But those days are over.
But
it is definitely one series now.
It's one series, and they don't. For me,
Burnout Paradise was amazing.
For me, they don't hit the same.
Burnout Paradise.
They don't hit the same scratches.
Was amazing. All right, so my games that I haven't played. These are games that are older and I haven't played, but I still want to play. Now, one of the older games that I got into recently was No Man's Sky. I played. I've already put about maybe
good
80
reviews.
Yeah, about good reviews now. That game launched broken.
Isn't there a category for like longevity games for the Game of the Year.
I'm not sure. I didn't really look at that
I
before we
think
started.
I think Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky.
Cyberpunk's in there, and No Man's Sky
They
got a
they had
nomination.
they got a
I think it
category.
was DLC. I think it was DLC.
I don't think it was DLC.
I think it was.
Destiny was in there.
I think it's DLC.
Longevity.
It might be long. It might be longevity.
It's
He might be
something-
right. He might be right. But it's like new additions to the game over a long period of time. No Man's Sky is one of those games that I got into 7 years after it launched,
Okay.
and I bought it, and it was hard for me to put down. Starfield came out, and that kind of scratched the same itch that I had with No Man's Sky, even though they're very different games.
Yeah. Fundamentally.
But science fiction, space games, open world. Starfield has a little bit more story, where No Man's Sky is you feel a lot more isolated.
Yeah. Okay.
So you definitely feel like you're an alien in alien worlds. Whereas Starfield, you feel like it's story driven.
Okay.
But games that I kind of want to play that I've never played, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
I've always wanted to try that. That's good. I'm glad that you put
It's
that.
a good one. It's great reviews. People, I mean, this game got, Game of the Year nominations left and right.
I seen the first 2 seasons of The Witcher on Netflix, and
Yeah.
that made me go,
Want to go, what is that? What is that?
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
So The Witcher, I've never played. The fact that it's on Switch, I've got a PS5 and I've got a Switch. The fact that it's on Switch makes me want to play the Switch version, because everything I've heard about the Switch version is, why is it on there? How the hell did they get this game to run on there? And it's not bad. It works fine.
Yeah.
So The Witcher 3, and I think that's probably the biggest one. And then I had a couple other.
I think they just dropped some news on The Witcher 3. I think they're adding mods to the game for like PC players now.
Yeah, and the other one was Resident Evil 2 Remake. I was thinking about getting into Resident Evil 2 the remake. So yeah, those are like the biggest remakes that I kind of want to get into at this time. But yeah, so
Hey yo,
What's
come
up,
on,
Jacob?
man. Come say what up.
Come here.
Come to the camera.
Come here. We're filming for the podcast.
This dude with the Hello Kitty shirt.
Is that what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Show the camera. You
Hey,
can't just talk about it. You got to show.
So this is my cousin
Yeah.
Jacob, and he's here with a Hello Kitty shirt.
He got the biggest My Pony collection with Superstar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, before you leave, quick question: if there's an older game we're talking about right now, come here in the camera. Come in the camera. Yeah. Is there any older games that you haven't played yet in the last year or so that you kind of want to play now? So I haven't played The Witcher 3. That was one of those games that I kind of heard a lot about and big reviews. Get into the frame, my friend.
Nah,
Nothing really, or are you happy with your game collection at this time?
I think I'm happy for now.
Yeah. What was like the biggest game you played this year?
Biggest game I played.
Or something that you've enjoyed or you've been playing lately?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 1 or 2, or are you playing the new Spider-Man?
I'm playing 1 and Miles Morales. I haven't gotten to 2 yet.
I've been playing Miles Morales too. We were just talking about that. All right, yeah. So that's kind of what we're at now. So he's into Miles Morales at this time. I've been playing a lot of that. So yeah, we're good to go. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions or any kind of games that you guys want to revisit, make sure that you guys leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on games you want to revisit for the year, Game of the Year awards, and yeah, let us know.
And if there's any liquor that you want us to try, give us a shout out. In the
Any
comments.
drinks in particular that you want us to get a hold of in Drunken Idiots. So yeah.
We ain't get too drunk this episode. Sorry, but
No, this is perfect. Yeah. So anyways, let us know what your thoughts are below, and yeah, thanks for watching.